We are.
Tired? Excellent. Has everyone done their upkeep? Roll to improve skills. Yes.
Oh, right. I don't think I failed a roll last session, so do I just like upgrade whatever?
No. You upgrade nothing.
Yeah.
You can
Unless you go
improve
out of
your.
your way to actually try to do that. No. What's the state of everyone's mind HP?
Bad.
4.
4.
0.
Probably due to getting shot.
Oddly enough, no. Just terrible from the session before.
2.
I would like everyone to regain D2 mind health because it has been like a week since last episode. It's currently
Huzzah.
April 2nd.
I have now 5 health.
I'm up to 2 now. Huzzah.
Good. You're back in the Side 4 shoal zone.
A return to form.
Your regular haunt.
The OG.
It could be worse. You could be in Side 5 right now.
Yep.
And Frep, you are still injured. However, you are not in a you're not bedridden. That's the word.
Okay.
Because honestly, in space, you don't really need to using your legs to maneuver is not strictly necessary. It is convenient, but it is not necessary.
Makes sense.
And you're all eating.
I'm sorry?
You know, it's standard. Your standard rations. It's eggs and toast
Oh.
for breakfast.
Well, at least it's not what we were having a couple of weeks ago.
Does Voss think that?
No, she's just eating her eggs and toast.
Yep, and later today you're supposed to go on a seek and destroy mission in the shoal zone.
For what exactly?
Look for pirates and destroy them.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
straightforward.
Got it. Good chance to get data on the Gundam. Always need that data, TM, even though we've got like no new parts to test, but whatever.
Yeah, like see how different pilots perform.
Yeah. Just giving them all the data for different situations. Probably got a lot of good data from the fight with the Helios, and also I assume fast forwarded the Helios remains to Jaburo and whatnot to the R&D folk.
Yeah, of course. Oh, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel to be led into battle by Junior Lieutenant Faust Gothales?
I mean, honestly, Halva is sometimes a little, like, off-put by Faust's behavior, but she is still the Gundam pilot, and she is also still probably one of the more capable pilots aboard the Barcelona. Not the Barcelona,
Wrong ship.
wrong ship, the Rio. I have the
From your other
Barcelona
self,
on my mind right now.
memories of your other self are leaking in. New type boner, whatever.
Did you just say type boner?
Moment. No. Where did you hear boner?
My hearing is not good. I'm like, that's why I was so shocked. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jesse.
All right, so yeah, Faust is Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, Faust Command. Very fun times, I'm sure.
You're also down on mobile suit. You're only going out with 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a Gundam. Courage usually punches people to death, and Haliva's pretty good at just like nailing some poor bastard with his cannon. So
What an apt way to put it. Frep, I have a Matra. I do have a question though.
oh no.
How do you feel about Faust being in charge while you're in charge?
Actually, honestly, not too bad. Like I trust Faust to like lead the squadron in action well enough. Probably wouldn't like want Faust in charge of HR decisions for an extended period of time, but like I'm fairly confident Faust isn't going to get everyone killed through any sort of incompetence or like absurd levels of aggression. So
Yeah.
probably okay. Cautiously optimistic.
If anyone needs to talk about like morale and whatnot, they just come to you and get confirmed.
Yeah, Faust. Morale issues are now something you are obliged to deal with.
Faust just kind of is very blunt about it. It's like, Commander, I'm feeling a bit stressed. Then go do something you enjoy, dumbass. Not with the dumbass part included, but Faust is very like, do something to alleviate your stress. Do something you enjoy. But it's
Go
very
fix it.
clearly it's a very clearly like a how do I put it? Straightforward. This has been proven as a good way to relieve stress. So go do that. Rather than like, let's sit down and have a deep talk about, your experiences on the battlefield and how I can advise you as your commander.
Yeah, Frep, you see Faust reading what's it a very old manual about how you're supposed to lead a unit, being an officer for dummies.
Yeah, being a squadron leader for dummies. She has it marked down instead of dummies. It says for geniuses.
Yeah, you erased it with
Yeah,
like a
I erased
Sharpie on the
it.
front.
Yeah, I used like white out on the book cover and just wrote geniuses on top of it.
That all tracks.
But also Faust has definitely been putting the crew into, less like waltz and the team building exercise and more though. All right, get in the simulator. We're gonna go collect data
For 14 hours.
for 14 hours. Yeah.
We're not sure which one has been more disastrous for morale at this point.
It's either the waltzing or it's the 14-hour simulator battles. It's a very tough choice. One is very draining. The other gets your toes stepped on a lot, and it really hurts.
Matro, you see Penny Bun walk into the room.
Right. So am I still in the like medbay for this, or am I like released onto like general duties at this time? Or
You
light
do
duty?
administrative stuff right now.
Okay. So like 90% of what I did anyways.
Yeah, but they are not going to throw you in a mobile suit unless they are comically desperate, and they have not reached that point yet.
Okay.
Walks over to the table. Lieutenant and Matro, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course.
He looks at Faust.
Oh, right,
Okay.
yeah. Faust, looks up to her book.
He coughs into his hand. looks away.
She raises an eyebrow at this. Did he call her name?
No.
Then she goes back to reading her book.
Metro, anyone wanted to speak with you privately.
Yeah, it's like let's take a walk. I will like move towards the door.
Okay, then. So, out of his coat pocket, he hands you another newspaper.
All right,
If anyone doesn't think Foss can be trusted with the fact that you have contraband.
that's for the better, safer. All right. What am I looking at with this one? All
Oh, it is the Free Sides Fleet's official newspaper again.
much fun. Maybe hold off on reading that one until I'm like back to my quarters because not be wandering around the ship flipping through that.
Yeah, just the fucking like that big Xeon logo on in front of the newspaper. Big
Yeah, you're
bold
reading.
text.
It's like reading Iskra. A paper of the Russian and Social Democratic Labor Party, aka the Communists, in like 1906.
Yeah.
The cops will arrest you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'll like stash that inside my like jacket until such a time I can read it without being interrupted. And then I'll pour through it.
He puts out his hand.
What's the going rate on these newspapers at this point?
Enough to be within your paycheck. Unless you have something else to spend your money on.
Not especially. I will like fork over
The money.
the money. Yeah.
Nondescript amount of currency.
Yeah. Like probably hilariously too much, but you know, I want the information, so I'll pay for it.
It is an illegal newspaper, so.
Yeah.
And you are on a military ship. You'd get in a lot of trouble if they found you had this.
Yeah, makes sense. I say once I'm done with these have all been like getting burnt or something because I do
No,
not
you
want
don't
to
burn them. That's bad for a ship.
I was
They
gonna
get
say, that's the
shredded.
shit.
Right in the
Shredded?
shredder.
Yeah. Either way, I'm not holding on to like a stash of illicit newspapers once I'm done with them.
It's like a box saying not Xeon newspapers don't look.
Hey, they're not. The Free Sides fleets aren't Zeeks.
Yeah, in fact, they hate them.
A lot.
right,
A lot more than the Federation.
Contraband newspaper, don't peek.
Yeah.
Courage looks over to you, Holiva. So, Chief, I heard you were looking at a course to get into like the academy.
Oliver, what are we being served today?
It's eggs and toast. Pretty typical.
Alright, he kind of just pokes his food a little. Uh, okay, so I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot about that plot point.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up, so you can say, no, I'm actually not, or yes, I did do that.
Okay. He sort of, no, I think I'm probably just gonna, I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but probably not that.
You sure? She looks over to Faust. We do make a lot more than you.
That's...
God, I love being a commissioned officer. Faust does not say this. She's not even thinking. But me as a player.
Yeah, Academy wasn't too bad. Yeah, tell them, Lieutenant.
Faust looks up from her book, and she's just like, It was simple for Faust, and she looks back in the book and just keeps on reading.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any education on this, really this part of the galaxy that could trouble Faust.
Think about it like this. I managed to pass.
Courage, I mean, that doesn't surprise me either. Like, no offense, if there's a list of things which I can say you're good at, being an officer is actually one of them.
Oh, really? She starts smiling.
Faust has you're a pop from Faust highlighter as she starts highlighting something.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most people don't know how to use a sword and waltz in this century, so you definitely take it more seriously than them. Most officers, at least.
She brings her hand down and points a thumbs up. Says, "Studiousness is a virtue."
Faust nods at this and gets a Courage gets a thumbs up from Lieutenant Faust from Junior Lieutenant from this.
I'm not sure if the
Keep spread.
You go.
Yeah, sorry. Keep spreading the good word about knowledge.
Oliver was about to say something.
All of it's like, oh, I'm not sure if the politics of the Federation really suit me. I'm much better suited to pilots than somebody who gets their hands dirty, but with the political sort, I suppose. I only have to get my hands dirty in the literal way, and I much prefer it like that.
He starts rubbing her chin. Then we need to find a way to fast track you to warrant officer. Then
I mean, if I stay on the ship, I'm sure it won't be that much of an issue.
Is there? Okay, I have a suggestion. Okay, so we need to find a way to fast track him to be a warrant officer. Is there a role I can do to see if Faust gets an idea? I have an idea.
if you have an idea, I'm not going to require you to roll.
Yeah, I think Faust will. Okay, so let me quickly look up how to get promoted to warrant officer. I'm pretty sure this is how to get promoted to warrant officer. Give me a sec while I read this.
Well, what's an easy way to get promotions aside from dying? War heroes.
Well, she looks around to all of us. You mean like everyone on the ship? Them?
Is there any medals I haven't earned and could possibly earn from? I mean, yes.
Okay, so what I'm reading from is that okay, so active duty, Halava's active duty, and must demonstrate expert proficiency in skill and craft. Halava has pulled off some good stuff before. I think we could maybe, as warranted, as commissioned officers, give how do I put it? What's
Guess he gets
that
bumped
term?
up.
Yeah, get him bumped up, but there's a term for it. Recommendations. That's what it's called. Recommendations to get him promoted to a warrant officer.
To go to Erden with the captain.
Yeah, something like that. And Faust will perk up. Considering Faust and Courage's status as commissioned officers, if we were to put in a word of recommendation of Halava to the captain, there's a chance he could be promoted. If anything, once we leave this patrol duty of the Side 5, we're at Side 4. Side 4 patrol zone. Faust could request that Halava be taken along with her back to Jaburo. There'll be more chances to earn a promotion at headquarters.
Wow, would you really do that?
Faust sees no problem with that.
You know, I might take you up on that.
She gives out that smirk. Of course you would. It was the recommendation of a genius. And she keeps reading.
Yeah, what's Metro doing? You've been quiet.
Probably gonna try and slip away and read that newspaper, to be honest. Which means I missed this amusing hijinks of like, okay, how do we fast track a promotion? It's like,
Help our friend.
I was gonna say, if Metro was there, it's like, wow, I mean, the easiest way is some nepotism, but that's probably
That's not really an option with
I don't know. Halava seems qualified enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like and like Courage literally suggested. Weren't you like trying to go to be an officer? Wasn't that like an idea you're floating?
Yeah. I don't think there's like a limit.
It's not like we're gonna bump him up to like lieutenant commander like in a day.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I don't think there's one in one you can go to like an officer academy, right?
Wait, you say that again? I couldn't quite make out what you said.
There isn't like a limit to when you can go to an officer school, right? To get commissioned.
No, so the only limit for commissions is how many commissioned officers there are. Like there is
Right.
a legal limit that they are not allowed to go over.
Right. And I assume that's currently at a deficit considering the war.
Well, what's the word? When officers die, people have to be promoted to replace them.
Right.
A problem with that is a commission requires like the legal approval of like a legislative assembly.
Right. Yeah.
It is very much impractical to ask them to constantly be looking over commissions.
Right.
So what happens instead is what's called a battlefield commission, where an enlisted person or an officer is impromptu promoted to a rank, like a higher rank.
Got it. All right. So it's probably
And when
more
the
better to
war's
just
over, they lose the rank.
right.
So like what happens is after the war is people who got battlefield promotions and who still want to be that rank a lot of them end up staying that rank. They get a commission at as what they've been promoted to like so like they replace the losses.
All right. So it's probably better to just stick with trying to get him promoted to
Yeah, like
warrant.
there is no like legal limit on how many warrant officers they are allowed to have
Yeah.
or
Something.
enlisted.
I have an idea. I clearly we should forge Haliva's records of where he's from and wait 3 years, and then we can join the team to get the two to rank promotion.
Do you
However,
feel like
legally
Courage would be
speaking, is dead, and thus he gets the 2-rank promotion.
Yeah, you
Look,
legally
Yeah.
you died one time after a sortie.
Yeah, you legally died and you came back as
You were brought back by the good doctors.
yay, yeah, you died in the battlefield. You were pronounced legally dead, and you were brought back to life on Earth by medics. So you were reborn on Earth, which technically now makes you a space noid, which is perfect reason for him to be allowed into the Titans. And then he could get his 2-rank promotion.
I was gonna say, like, doesn't Halava have a pretty okay like record at this time? I feel like
He has a pretty fantastic record, actually. Halava,
Yeah.
what is your victories at currently?
Say that again?
Please state how many victories you have.
Victories? You mean,
That's what they call
your
kills.
kills.
kills? Okay. He is not an ace. 4 kills.
Damn.
well, shit. We just get you another kill and then fast track you for
Yeah.
promotion.
Yeah.
Ace pilot war hero.
All right, yeah, we gotta go. All right, everyone, shut up. Let's get into our cockpits. We're sorting right now.
Matt's just gonna come back in, folding this newspaper, and everyone's just gone.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, all right,
yeah.
guys,
Does
let's
Faust do
get
that?
where does. No, she doesn't. But yeah, no, Faust is just sticking to her current plan of, just, recommendations, getting him promoted. If anything, let's see. What she know about Faust? What did she really say
Metro,
about her word for it?
what are you doing?
So I probably would have just spent a couple minutes, like, ducked into a side room to, like, flip through, see what the headlines on this bloody newspaper are, and then I'd return to, finish my breakfast.
So what the Free Sides Fleet has mostly been doing is denouncing the Federation for being counter-revolutionaries, denouncing the Zabi, the Xeon Remnants for being counter-revolutionaries, and talking about their operations that they are willing to speak about, the stuff that everybody would know, like harrying Federation convoys, and the occasional assassination.
Gotcha.
Like
Does this
that
give
time
me
they blew
any
up
idea of
that
like how big
mayor's
of an
plane.
organization is the Free Sides Fleet? Like, obviously, I can't take their word at like face value, but between like reading these and what I'm able to learn
I'm
through,
going to
like,
put it like this: there's at least a second, and third fleet. You have no idea how big those are, but there's a practical reason why you use the word fleet.
okay, so it's not just some like tiny podunk organization. I mean, clearly had a lot of strings. It had like 50 guys at that assassination, but it's like
For one colony. So yeah, they have enough to be a threat.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get promoted to lieutenant.
I just love how Metro leaves the Metro
Yeah, you
like
return.
committed careerist walks out of a conversation, then comes back. It's like everyone is all about their career. It's like I've never been so proud of this group in my life.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
return as they're you
you
return as they're talking about trying to get Halibo promoted to warrant officer.
a tear falls down his eye.
I'm so proud of you all. I mean, yeah, like you said, like Alva's got a pretty like stellar record. Probably if you can clinch a ace status, we could probably finagle that into like a good word with the captain and see where things lead, right?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, I'm assuming the Federation military is still in a drawdown. So, like, if it comes into like what's the next intake of like new junior officers, who are they going to pick? Some like fresh faced 18-year-old, or are they going to take someone who's got like combat experience and is an ace? And like, because we're also like minor celebrities from the stopping the pirates there and shooting down the Prince Garma. So like, he's not an unknown name, so it probably would look good in the paper for him to get some sort of step up. Just have to approach this from the right point of view. After just
You
start
see
spiraling on
courage,
the political
courage nodding
consequences
along.
of all this.
Nod.
Courage.
Yeah, if that's what Halva wants to do, Matcher will throw his full support into
Plus
trying to assist in
Courage
whatever way he
says,
can.
Courage says, plus Halva, when you become an officer, you're going to be an ensign. But, then for the next 4 years, you'll probably be under someone else who's actually calling the shots.
I mean, I'd be
Like us.
okay with that. Plus, like, once we deal with this remnant situation, I mean, it's clear sailing from there. I don't think we're getting in mobile suits after that.
Nothing bad will ever happen ever again.
Well, pirates might still have mobile suits.
Nothing bad could possibly ever happen to our cool spot.
I feel like if I get killed by a pirate, that one's on me.
Courage looks over at Matro.
I was just gonna say, noted.
Oh, Nacho, when did you get here?
Influence lost. Matro.
Fucking Macho
Interstage
will
left.
remember that. Macho will remember that in the top right corner.
Nacho, I'll have you know, none of those guys in there could pilot a mobile suit. Like it's
Wait,
one
what's
thing
the-
being Shaw in the back. I mean, he rambles off.
Wait, didn't one of them have a petite mobile suit though?
That that hardly counts. That's like piloting a forklift.
It did have a 20mm on it.
Sort of scrunches up in his seat.
On that, sir, how's the leg treating you?
I mean, I imagine it's sore as hell, but it's not nearly as bad as if this is happening in gravity. Because like it's not like I'm putting any weight on the damn thing.
Okay, then you say what?
Could be a lot worse. I mean, I'm lucky it's just, leg shot. That could have easily been my head, so I'll try not to complain too much.
Yeah,
And
that
that
reminds me. We were talking about this earlier, sir. How was your time at Academy?
it was fine. It was just, a necessary step. I'm not like, I'm not a genius, but I didn't mind the academic portions.
Oliver, when was the last time you were in school?
Military or education.
No, like a real school.
Real school. God, about a decade. Never went to college.
Hmm. You're just thinking real hard. You think you could make it in college?
I mean, I guess there's not much competition anymore, which is a bleak way of looking at it, but more ups for the survivors kind of gives a thumbs up. Actually, no. Everyone who was educated is alive. What am I saying? Shit. Guess I'm still on the bottom then. Plus, I'm probably not gonna be able to afford it with the salary the Federation's given me, even if it is
No,
single
no,
person.
no. When you get commissioned, it's like going to college.
Oh, right.
It's like you're earning your bachelor's.
Right, yes. Yeah, probably not. Listen, it's one thing flying a mobile suits, but I'm just not cut out for that. Like I said, it's why I'm not going to the academy. Some people are made to do the dirty work. I think I'm starting to realize I may be one of those people.
Damn.
So we just have to
Speaking
find a
of,
way around the academic half then. Or rather the academy route. The
I mean, this is
I
what I'm thinking of now. Who knows what will happen when we're all out of this.
just realized probably for the best that like Halvin didn't come in here with all kinds of bright ideas. But off to the academy, just got to go get an A status because that would be the biggest death flag possible. Going on this sortie, it's like, oh, you ain't coming back.
Um,
Ugh.
Speaking of dirty work, you do have a sortie to go to.
yep. Faust looks at the clock and closes her book. Everyone, it's about time for us to sortie. And she gets up and she goes off to, I presume, the locker room to go get changed to her pilot suit and then off to the hangar to get into her mobile suit.
Yep, you all go. Atro is left doing what?
So I'm not supposed to sort unless it's in like the most dire of circumstances, right?
Yeah, like they are all gone and you are being attacked. The ship is being attacked. Atro, go.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I mean, he'll probably just wait in the hangar, like on the off chance something does happen, like sitting in his cockpit in case he has to sortie, and probably try and tie into any like the ship system, try and monitor things as much as he can while until things get out of range with like Minovsky particles and all that. But
It is a
probably
you
do
are in
that.
the show zone.
And that's also a good time to like, if he's got himself sealed in the cockpit waiting, that's a good time to flip through his illicitly acquired papers, because nobody's going to be checking on him in there.
Okay then. Do you have any final words for Boss before they go off?
I'll return to Faust and say, best of luck. I have every confidence in your ability to lead this mission.
Nods and says, I will lead them to the best of Faust's abilities. And she gets into the Gundam's cockpit.
Your flight control officers just going over the mission one last time, as is standard procedure. Rio team, your mission is simple.
I'm doing the cool thing of where I'm like, pressing
Seek
the
out
buttons.
and destroy enemy pirates in the Side 4 show zone. Good luck and
This is
good hunting. You're free to
Junior
take off.
Lieutenant. Okay, yeah, Junior Lieutenant Faust confirming mission objective. She sighs, grips the controls, and
The
pushes the
catapult throws
throttle.
you.
Faust Glyphiles, Gundam launching. She shoots out from the Rio de Janeiro and just, as the others come shooting out, she just kind of scoops off and gives them the signal to follow.
Her and Jim launching. Oliver, it's your turn to get on the catapult.
Oliver, Jim Cannon, let's go.
And now you're flying through the shoal zone. Placed with fuck ton of pirates. They are out there.
What type of
Faust,
person?
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, I was gonna make a stupid joke.
Faust is looking throughout the shoal zone as she's flying. We haven't been here for a while, and most of the fights they've had here have been very intense, pretty much. So Faust keeps saying it, goes on comms. Remember to always keep an eye out, so you don't know where the pirates may be hiding, or the remnants. If you see anything suspicious, report it immediately to the rest of the squadron, and everyone will investigate. Do not separate.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out for debris. Keep up. And then she just kind of boosts off with the Gundam. She's putting the team through their paces.
Actually, no. That is a good point. Roll me a move check.
All right. I'll get your commission, but I like being a grunt. A move check, you said?
Yes. See if you actually do put them through your
The paces.
yeah.
I need to get a fucking dice box. Okay, that's good. First dice good. Ooh. Holy fucking shit.
What?
This would have been way better in like a combat roll, but I got a critical success.
Oh, critical success? Give yourself a narrative point.
Yeah, a narrative?
Not a narrative point, an awakening point. If you're not an
Right,
alt type,
yeah.
I don't know.
Where's my awakening? Let me try and find it.
It's under meta, under attributes.
There it is. Awakening. I now have 6 awakening points. Very good. Yeah, no, I guess that was just boots off.
Yeah, Halava,
One failure,
roll me one failure.
2 sixes,
Oh, that's not good.
1 2.
Faust, you hear Kurt says, "Ma'am, you're pulling ahead."
Faust, you know.
As you weave between all the debris.
Yeah, no, Faust is doing the Seed and Guts of Thunderbolt of the full armor, just ducking and weaving across the debris at an insane speed. But hearing how, the fact that they can't keep up, she begins to slow down because, do not separate. But she stops for a moment to let them catch up and then immediately shoots off again as soon as they can get some distance. And hopefully they, can start keeping up more. She's moving a bit slower than her initial movement check, but yeah.
This allows everyone else to keep in formation.
Yeah.
Metro, you now have a spare moment sitting in your cockpit. I have a question. I haven't asked this. Have you decorated your cockpit with anything?
Probably nothing other than maybe some like photographs from like other postings he's had. So like be maybe the ship he took when they went out to the belt like near the beginning of in like 78, the one that he was on that missed most of the war. Stuff like that.
I'm
Probably
just thinking
not
because it's a classic look for the pilot to put a photo in their cockpit.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably about the limit of it. He's not the most like
Sentimental dude.
sentimental dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think Metro has much of a love life.
Nah, not much opportunity for it. So yeah, it'd be that. Maybe like some unit patches. Again, like whatever the last ship he was on. But nothing that he can't like rapidly move to another cockpit too. It's like he's only had this gym for a few weeks. Before that he had the ball. Before that he's presumably in like a saberfish or something like that. So hasn't like got a whole lot of artifacts in any one of them.
Okay then. So yeah, you get to read this newspaper. There's a couple things in it. So it says something about the first, third, and second fleet. And they're not talking about the Federation first or second, third fleet. Because those are at Luna 2 right now.
Odd in it.
Yeah. So this is presumably the Free Sides fleet's own like organization structure that they're on about.
Yes.
That's concerning.
A little bit. Especially since they seem to be like pretty anti-federation these days. So
Some international terrorists
yeah,
would be a word to describe them.
it's not particularly ideal.
They think they mafty.
Okay, so um, they say Captain. They say Delegate Captain Dalcy A. Galvo, who, in a recent raid against hence a Side 2 who Shozone Bay is single-handedly with a singular or petite mobile suit managed to both capture or entertain and the entire base just by herself and the aid of one delegate sergeant, along with their 4 gym mobile suits. Just
Sounds
then a quick biopic of this Dalcy Gavel.
sure hope it isn't that lady from the manor.
No, yeah. Do you want to learn about that lady from the ball?
Ah, seems reasonable because it was like the one like face I had to put to this organization.
Yeah, that's Grace Harmonia, the person in charge of the entire thing.
Um,
This is not the first time she's done something like that.
then maybe Miss single-handedly captured a base is going to be our next rival character. You know what that means, folks?
Well, does it? Have I heard anything like through the official channels that like would confirm or deny the what's being put out in this news? Like, did we in fact lose a base in the side 2 shoal zone, or is that
Roll me, uh, either keen and academics or keen in politics.
politics? Let's go politics. I'm less good at it, but I think that's the one I want to work on. So, nope, failed it by 1 because I chose the weaker skill.
Would you like to use a narrative point?
I would like to pass this. How are we looking at the? Oh, we've got a fair bit. Sure, I'll
You got
burn
6.
1. Yeah, I'll burn a narrative point.
Okay then. So, from what you can gather from, talking with the captain and some of the higher ups, like Captain Mintov when he's on board, just like asking about stuff. Same with Lieutenant Commander Radshirt, the squadron, and CAG. Um, we recently you recently did lose a shell zone base, and it is the one they're talking about. However, that's the extent of your knowledge. So if they're puffing things up, you can't tell.
Okay, it does at least some of it tracks. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So they probably did attack it. If Dulcie actually did single-handedly take the base on her own, you don't know.
Okay, is them directly attacking the Federation? Is this new, or is this a escalation from what they were doing prior to the assassination, or is this just continuing more of their activities that they've been doing since the end of the war?
Yeah, mostly the thing is like you replace Federation Show Zone base with Xeon Show Zone base, and they basically are doing the things they've always been doing.
Yeah, and it's just they've changed who they're shooting at. Well, they've added to who they're shooting at. I doubt they stopped shooting at Zeke's.
It's like Xeon gets kicked out, Federation gets moves in. Nothing has actually changed.
Yeah. Old boss, same as new boss, same as the old boss. Okay. That's something to note that we might be facing up against these guys in like
They are talking
presumably
about
they've got gyms now, so that's something to
yeah.
file away. Is like
Something you do also know from your briefings things is that the Federation was previously supplying them with shit.
okay.
So they is confirmed they have gyms.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of factions running out of gyms now that Metro's not a big fan of. I mean, this and what happened last episode with finding out that
Yeah.
allies and stuff. They get the newer ones than us too. Hooray! Hooray for Graft. So, all right then.
Yep, and the other important thing is the party congress that's coming up in a couple of months.
This is
Because Grace Harmonia is only in charge of the military wing, Freeside's fleet.
okay. So they're having some sort of like leadership contest
Yeah,
going on.
no, it's not a contest. This is a regular thing.
Okay. Which
This happened like every couple of years.
okay, how long is this have they been kicking around the Free Side Fleet? Are they like
The newspaper says established in '75.
okay. Been around a
And
little
this is their third party congress.
while. Okay.
Did you notice what I said about the officers earlier? Ranks?
Oh yeah, their delegate
Yeah, they're voted.
I have some like early Soviet vibes coming off these guys, like yeah, elected officers and all that. I guess that's not just Soviet. You don't go back to the French Revolution for that, but
Yeah, or like the Black Army.
gotcha.
There was that time the PLA abolished all ranks. There was also that.
Always amusing stuff. So yeah, we were dealing with a revolutionary organization for sure. Interesting. I'm gonna know what officer delegates. So interesting stuff.
Hey, Oliver,
Mm-hmm.
roll me an initiative check with a -3.
Oh
Fun.
no!
Just Oliver. No one else needs to do it.
Tenet, you gotta keep up. You're in a much better suit than. Okay, let's see what I get here.
Oh, because I guess the
Let us keep up, but
Don't run ahead.
alright, 7. That'd be -3. So 10. That's still. Okay, so that's 7 out of 10. 4 successes?
4 successes. You notice an unusually large. There's an area where the density of Minovsky particles you can detect is significantly higher. In shell zones, it's always kind of like at a medium level. But once like active ships are trying to emit Minovsky particles, it becomes increasingly obvious that something is there. Something that is at least turned on is there.
Oliver is going to say, alright, Holt, my radar is picking up some Minovsky interference real nearby.
Lost.
huh? Oh yeah. Faust, I guess, notices this, and also Oliva brings that up, and she immediately puts two and two together and says, "It appears we have. It appears we've found remnants or pirates we are seeking." And she immediately sharply turns and boosts into formation with Oliva and Courage, and kind of begins to rather quickly approach the, you know, she motions them to follow her in formation. She begins approaching the source of the Minovsky interference, potentially putting the pressure onto whoever is hiding there, be it remnants, pirates, or maybe just one scout mobile suit. she's using the debris as like cover, ducking in and out of it to, in case they start shooting at them.
Yep, all three of you go to the source parts of it, and you see a lone Musai listing forward.
Oh, it's
There it
listed.
is.
It appears we have found our target. We can't reach the ship with this interference, so we'll have to act on our own.
Your Courage says your orders, ma'am.
She thinks to herself. Can I take a look at the ship? It's listing, right? Can I see for any damage?
Yes, it is currently damaged.
Where has it been hit?
In an engine. One of
Oh,
them.
it got hit.
Can
All right, and where are we positioned to this ship? Are we behind it, in front of it, next to it?
You are currently in front of it. However, the piece of debris you've chosen is a colony,
Oh, okay.
so they can't blast you away.
Got it. Okay. We'll travel around the colony and attack the ship from behind, disable the remaining engines that are functioning, and if they refuse to surrender, destroy the bridge and their mobile suits if they have any.
Alright. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Can Oliver make a roll to identify any identification, any markings on this ship?
It's a Musai. It is a Xeon.
Okay.
Principality of Xeon. Musai.
Yeah, but he wanted to see if there was anything else. This is almost definitely remnants. He wanted to see if there's any other markings.
There are, but they mean nothing to you.
Okay.
It's some unit you've never heard of.
Gotcha. If we take out the, where the Musai's hangar is?
Yes, you presumably would all have this information.
If we take out the hangar, then we could probably get rid of all of their mobile suits before they deploy.
Alright.
Though that would lead to an increased number of casualties.
Yeah, it might be best to just try and, knock them out and make them surrender. And if anyone tries to launch their suit into the hangar while they're launching, basically block any other suits from launching via the remains of their ally.
Alright, we sticking together, or we...
Stick together.
Alright.
Yep, so as you go under the colony, from the camera's perspective, to let this Musai pass over you, reaches the ideal point for the ambush. You're looking. If you went around the colony at this very moment, you'd be looking at the belly.
All right. Faust is waiting. It's gonna let it go a little bit more forward.
Slowly goes.
I'm waiting for the opportune moment. Right when we can start seeing the engines themselves, and not the the afterburner, I guess, of the engines. Yep. Faust says, commence. She says begin, then immediately shoots out from, their hiding spot to go and blow up the engines.
Yep. So you all three of you pop out. I'd like you to make me a fire order.
A shoot to fire. MS fire shot.
Can Oliver hold his shot?
Sure.
Alright. He wants to see if anything pops out, and then he'll take the shot.
Yep, Courage's beam goes right next to the undamaged engine, but doesn't hit.
Alright. I got a... What did I get? had 13. I got an 11. That could have been bad. 3 successes.
3 successes. You blow the engine.
Okay.
I'm stupid. We never do this. You gained a +1. That's actually 4 successes.
+1.
Oh.
We co-pilot.
Oh. Cool.
Nice.
I
All
guess
right,
it's
cool.
redundant, but
I mean, the main cast of Betty Scum also forgets they have passive bonuses. So
Most of the you say that, but most of the bonuses in this game that I've written are passive. So
all right. So I shoot the ending, and I guess the others miss, or they hit other parts of the ship.
correct.
All right. So what happens next? We blow up the engines.
Yeah, it is your initiative. Act.
Oh, okay. So we jumped in. Now we get. All right. Let's go blow up another engine.
Yeah, there's no other engine to blow.
Oh, there isn't. Okay. So Faust is going to. All right. Time to do an intimidation roll. He moves, poops up right in front of the bridge.
Okay then.
I assume the turrets in front of the moose aren't gonna fucking turn around trying to shoot her. This is gonna because they're probably gonna hit themselves. So Faust lands right on top of the right on the hull of the ship. The Gundam is shadowed, its eyes glowing as she places a hand on the bridge, kind of cracking the glass. Very, very not good. But that's the point. Make them scared. Faust then goes on overcoms. This is Junior Lieutenant Faust of the Earth Federation. Xeon remnants and or pirates are we are demanding your immediate unconditional surrender. Failure to comply will lead to the destruction of your ship. Faust hopes you make a sensible decision and put an end to this. Nobody else needs to die.
As you go out of the shadow of the colony, you can see on the top. Now you can see what's actually inside the bridge. There's no one there.
Faust makes a like an audible huh, and she immediately kind of backs off from the bridge and tries to move back to her crew. The bridge is empty. The ship may have already been abandoned. Keep an eye out.
this might just be debris from the war.
It could be, but Faust does not. Faust suspects
Boss,
other news.
now that you're
Yes.
closer to the moose eye, you look down at it, and a lot of these markings keep saying Flanagan.
Oh, okay. I see where we're going. Planet, can I make a roll to see if I know what that is?
You already
I-
do. You've already made
Fire.
this roll.
Oh, cool. Nice. All right. Yeah, no, Faust sees the monkeys. The Flanagan Institute? He kind of remarks out loud, which is a bit uncharacteristic of her, but she's a bit surprised by this.
Flanagan?
Damn, the what? What's that?
Is Faust. Let's see, what should I do? Yeah, Faust will elaborate something. Flanagan Institute is a bit vague terms. It's a research institute by the old principality. They researched the new type phenomenon there.
What?
Apparently, it was also responsible for creating some of the more dangerous weapons, such as that mobile armor we fought back when defending the Jupiterus envoy, the Jupiter Energy Fleet.
So they were a research institute?
That's correct.
Man, what's that new type?
Faust. Faust isn't surprised. Courage hasn't heard of this, considering one of her teammates is a suspected new type, at least to her, but she kind of said. A new type is something Xeon Zimdaikun theorized about a next evolution in human state, in a next stage in human evolution. Apparently, there were reports of people who fit this criteria manifesting empath and telekinetic abilities during the war that were used for those weapons.
Huh.
But that begs. Yes, Halava?
Oh, no, sorry, you continue.
She nods. But that begs the question. Does this ship look like it's been abandoned for a long time? I assume that since its engine was on, it must have been recent, right?
Could very well have been.
Yeah. Considering I doubt this ship has been managing to keep afloat with its engines on for the past 3 months, perhaps longer, without any resupply. So that means this ship was most likely abandoned recently. But just what would a Flanagan Institute ship be doing out here? Keep an eye out.
Can Oliver make not
Should
a
we
perception or keen awareness here? Or an
see
investigate?
what exactly?
He wants to see if the ship ran out of oxygen and had to be abandoned, or if it was abandoned before it ran out.
The only way you'd be able to tell that is if you go inside.
That's true. I mean, if he can tell by the damage, essentially.
The battle damage would have depressurized at least some of the compartments, but you cannot tell if that means all of the compartments are depressurized.
You think it's worth it to take a look inside, or is that not necessary for the current mission?
She thinks to herself for a moment. It isn't necessary, but it's piqued her curiosity, and Faust is fucking weak to curiosity.
Wait,
Also, you might
Well,
get reprimanded if, like, you saw a Flanagan Institute Nusai and you let it go off to be debris somewhere.
if this is
yeah,
a research...
it'd probably be better to, report it. Faust is like, we'll investigate it, and we'll report it to the Federation.
I mean,
The Federation has already confiscated most of the research material that the Flanagan Institutes had. They'll probably want to take a look at this.
George looks at you strangely, Faust. Why would they need to know what the Flanagan Institute was doing? Aren't new types a theory from from Continentalism?
She nods. Yes, but as the war showed, this theory may have battlefield use, and the Federation will never give up an opportunity to improve their battle prowess. In a sense, I suppose the Federation, with what they're looking for, is a way to create even stronger soldiers. Tell me, Courage, have you heard of the Red
A man
Comet?
named Sharasnimal.
Have you heard of a man named No, have you heard of the Red Comet's Amuro Ray?
Who hasn't heard of the Red Comet and the White Devil?
It is suspected that those two are new types.
What about Tanathayon?
Faust cannot make a comment on that, considering there is much more data on Amuro, which is definitely not a comment on how we don't have much 10FA Young content. It's definitely not a scathing remark to Bandai. That despite the fact they make a bunch of one-year war stories, we fucking barely know anything about them. Besides the
In the
fact that
Federation Ace of Aces, we know nothing about him.
yeah, we know nothing about him, despite the fact he fucking how many kills?
One like
149 mobile suits. 149 mobile suits and 3 ships. And fucking
nothing.
yeah, he's rumored to be a new type, but other than that, we know fucking nothing. But yeah, Faust just says Faust cannot comment on Tenefayon. However, people who have encountered the White Devil and footage from Jaburo shows the fact that those two pilots seem to have eyes in the back of their head, for a lack of a better word. Regardless, We'll be investigating the ship. We'll land in the hangar. We'll all go together. It's better not to risk. She thinks, no, actually. One of us will stay outside. Courage, you
Yes,
do
ma'am?
so. Stay outside, make sure there aren't any remnants around, and warn us if anything comes close. Oliva, you will be accompanying Faust for this expedition.
Sounds good. You think the reactor's alright, considering we just blew up one of the engines?
Perchance. If
Your
not,
sensors do not state that there
Yeah.
is increased radiation, so most likely you are fine.
It seems the reactor has yet to leak. We should be safe.
If we can, we should get one of our transport ships come over here, haul it over. Though I'm not sure
That
if
would
we'd
be the
able
best.
to.
That would be the best. We'll have to first leave this area to get a better signal, considering the amount of Minovsky particles. Regardless, let us investigate this ship first. Then we'll make our judgment call.
Alright.
It cuts to Matro. Matro, you're continued reading this newspaper. The contents of the party congress is about the party's policy on the theory of new types. And Gear and Zabi's claim about their ability to be in scare quotes, the master race.
Man, what a bunch of nonsense these crazy Freeside Fleet guys come up with. Almost as
They
crazy as
mostly
the
hate,
zombies.
from what you can read about it, it's mostly that they fucking hate the concept.
Oh, shit! I find myself agreeing with them. That's what a crazy thing to believe. People just randomly developing telekinetic powers. Oh no,
And
I'm agreeing with the radicals.
yeah, so the basis of their disagreements new with psychics equals new types is that is not what Daikun meant. That a new type of human is not a physical change, it is a mental one. And they go off about lots of very academic sounding theory that is, and your eyes start to glass over.
Is
God,
it
that the
is it
language is
actual
so fucking
academic
boring.
theory, or is this like academic theory is postulated by like a first year political science student?
No, like
Like it's lots of
it's like
big words, but they mean
you
not
you
what they
are
say.
no, like you are reading like Malatesta or Enrico Malatesta talking, or
Oh
like
god, yes,
Gramsci.
my eyes glaze over for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, like an actual like political theorist writing for this newspaper.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what communists do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right? Yeah, they're plying their trade as theorists, and boy, they so fucking boring most of the time.
If it weren't for the fact I wouldn't dare keep this around, this would be great like material for trying to help myself sleep at night. Interesting, though. Yeah, they think it's. Trying to think what Match would do to amuse himself once he probably like burns himself on his newspaper. It's like, I want to learn more. It's like, oh god, I don't want to
Yeah.
learn this
So
much.
one of the things you do notice that does pique your interest when Mr. Professor starts talking is that how he talks about new type research is inherently inhumane. This you have no knowledge of, but he just like talks about rumors from the Flanagan Institute, and they aren't pretty. Like stealing 13-year-olds from their parents, not pretty.
Oh fuck.
It fucked in it.
Yeah. I guess it also comes down to how much Matra believes. These guys hate the zombies, and like them accusing these of atrocities like that probably would not be something he would be surprised to find was also exaggerated. It's like we know these guys are shitty, but these guys have an interest in saying how shitty they are. So his level of like, does he believe this or not, is probably up in the air.
Indeed. And the screen cuts back to Musai. Three
On
of
the
you
ship.
go into the hangar.
2 of us.
You open it
How's-
up. Courage stays in her mobile suit. She says, "Good luck, ma'am."
She nods, "Thank you, Courage," and motions for Oliver to follow her as she zips down to the hangar floor, and with draws her pistol.
There's still power on, so you can still see.
If the
Cool.
reports are... Wait. If the reports are right, the living quarters and the bridge are right above us.
Although the ship may be abandoned, we should still be careful. We'll check the bridge first, then the living quarters.
Right. Sort of nods. There's no HLV attached to this Musai, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
If we could get logs on any of the computers about a docking happening, then we could probably see what happened to everyone.
That's a good idea. Good work, Oliver, she said, as she, begins to make her way up to the bridge.
Are there any mobile suits in the hangar?
No, there's nothing in the hangar except scrap.
Alright, Oliver will join just behind Faust, sort of shadowing her, but it's less like a shadow considering his head sort of peeks over her.
Once again, we're back in a Scooby-Doo episode with Oliver and Fast.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Palaba's not taking point as the more expendable member of the team?
He's not the main character.
Yeah, but the main character needs a meat shield.
So true. All right. Nah, Faust is gonna lead from the front. If anything, she'll just push out. She'll just grab Oliver and put him in front of her if anybody jumps up.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. She just grab him by the collar, put him in front of her, like a fucking ballistic shield.
How
But
do
yeah,
you two
no,
feel as you're crawling about this ship?
Faust is not like apprehensive or like, ooh, this is scary. There's a hunger inside of her, a hunger for knowledge. If this ship was a
Hollywood
Flanagan
Hills.
Institute, yeah, Hollywood Hills, get that Ferrari. But yeah, no, she is very curious as to why this ship was abandoned, and more importantly, what kind of research this ship may contain that she can get her hands on to learn more about the new type. Because she, for one, has not managed to get her hands on any of the, confiscated research that the Federation, took from the Flanagan Institute. Hopefully, this can help her illuminate herself to the new type phenomena
Okay,
and
then.
many other things.
So, how are you feeling, Holiva?
He kind of does feel like he's in a sort of a B-horror film, honestly. He's like, well, if I stayed in the back, then I'm just gonna be snatched up, and then Foss is going to be like, wait, where did Oliver go?
I'm gonna be the fucking final girl.
Yep. Holiva, you turn around the corner, you see movement.
He's going to immediately stop her, and then, because they still have their helmets on... Actually, quick question.
Yeah.
We closed the hangar. Did we close the hangar behind us? Is there
Your courage
oxygen?
waiting there. There's not oxygen.
Okay, then they can't hear him. Through private comms.
You have
he's
your
gonna-
radius.
Yeah. Through radius, he's gonna be like, this movement.
Fox and turns to the hallway, pointing her gun at it. We're all move forward.
Right around the corner.
Take point on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Move to the corner. brace themselves up against it. Count down from 3, 3, 2, 1, go. And she's gonna turn the corner with Halava, guns drawn.
And it's a piece of scrap that's floating by.
Toss size, and immediately loosens up. Halava, I understand you may be apprehensive, but please be sure to confirm it is not a piece of scrap next time.
Listen, those things are dangerous. If they hit you in the head, Sword knocks his helmet. Yes, Lieutenant.
She nods and gets back to going up to the bridge.
So, you get there. There are brass casings everywhere.
I think we have ourselves a mutiny.
And there's blood
Interesting.
everywhere.
But it's 3 years too early for the Takarabune.
The what?
Yeah, no. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Faust kind of runs her hand alongside maybe like a officer station. There's blood on it. Is it dry? Yeah, she's gonna, put her finger over the blood. Is it dry or is it still wet?
No, it's ice.
Oh, right, because it's cold as fuck. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
space.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So we can't say
You
if
run
this
your
is
hand.
recent.
You run your hand over it to cake off the blood, and it flakes
Right.
away.
How many shell casings are on the ground?
People must have been dumping their mags.
Wow. Excuse me. Yeah, Faust is gonna. All right, let's take a bullet casing here. Is there any signs that it's been, shot recently?
Not within the last 24 hours. It's not warm. It's cold.
It seems, if anything, the ship was abandoned in more than 24 hours ago. So that means the chances of someone being on this ship, considering its current state, are as unlikely. Is there still oxygen in the bridge, or is like the entire All right, yeah. So chances of someone managing to be here are slim, but as much as it's possible, I don't think that's the case. If anything, the crew may have just killed each other here. All right, Halava, guard the entrance. Faust will take a look at the computer.
Alright. Halava's going to be like, well, if there's blood, there's bodies, and he's gonna pick up on the shell casings.
Yep. Xeon standard issue.
Xeon standard issue, he's gonna throw it away. Alright, I'll guard. You do your thing.
Faust is going to make her way to the main computer and, start typing down on it.
Okay then,
Yeah.
so it requires a key code to enter.
Faust kind of furrows her brow a bit.
There are several bodies in this room.
Oh.
All right, time to do some good old body searching. Time to loot the dead. So Faust is going to start going over their corpses, putting her hands in pockets, unzipping, seeing if they have anything
in the pockets of a lieutenant commander and a captain. You find pieces of paper with some codes on them. You don't know what works for what, but you do have the big list.
All right, what's the big list? What's the numbers we have?
It is 5 passwords. No, I will not say them out loud because it's not important.
All right. I am going to. All right, I have one question.
Yes.
Is one of the passwords? I know you said it's not important, but is one of the passwords perhaps like a significant date, like when Xeon maybe established its dependence or whatever?
No, but there is a date there. Probably someone's birthday, you imagine.
Right. All right. So Faust is gonna start. Let's put just the first one into the computer.
First one doesn't work.
All right. Fifth one.
It does work. Congratulations. It said it says welcome, Lieutenant Commander or name I will not say.
Okay. All right.
Man, that's a Gundam name, all right.
Lieutenant Commander, I will not say. All right, Faust is gonna start. Not safe. That's his name. All right, let me get a GIF.
Yep. So it's probably the XO first mate.
Okay. All right. Uh,
And what do you want to look
Faust is
for?
going. All right. First, we're gonna go to the doc folder, the docs folder. See if there's anything in there.
Document folders. There's the daily log that the officers have to make.
Okay. Sure. Let's read it. May
Um,
illuminate
it
what
uh,
happened
it,
on this.
it abruptly stops 5 days ago.
Okay, let's read that first. I don't need the preamble. The fucking horror, the Fallout 3. You're inside a vault. You're gonna have to read these like 5 data logs to figure out what happened in here.
So you start to go over it, and it starts talking about how the subjects are getting increasingly erratic,
Okay.
and how now that Commandant Giron isn't supporting them anymore, how they're starting to run out of supplies. 2 days
Well,
2 days previously before that, they had to shoot a subject who got out of their restraints.
right. So this is 5 days ago.
Yes.
Oh, we are not getting supplies from Commodore Gearing. That is because he is
Commandant.
dead. Commandant Gearing. That's because he is dead. Fountain mutters to herself as she reads it. So it seems this is weird because Faust hasn't heard anything about like having to shoot people they're researching. Now, maybe from what she's heard, someone like Amuro or Shar haven't displayed any erratic behavior. So that's definitely not, probably not, actually, not definitely, probably not something normal new types would do, which leads her to believe they were doing something on this ship. Is there like a map of the ship she can pull up from this computer?
No, it's a standard Musai. You know where to go. You are forced
Okay.
to study what a Musai's interior is roughly like.
Right. Okay. So that's most likely in the infirmary or in the personal quarters. So she'll check that out later. She's going to. All right. So seems, if anything, the crew of this ship and whoever they were, keeping here that we needed constant maintenance. Went bonkers, killed everybody. Maybe they all ended up killing each other. Maybe some of them left. So let's see. What else could I look for in this ship? Is there any? Anything that looks like it could be potential. Well, no, that's probably more so in a researchers. All right, she's gonna take a look around at the bodies. Is there anybody who doesn't look like they're a military officer, like they're brought on as a researcher to, keep an eye on something?
They were all wearing Xeon standard issue normal suits. However, when you took out their bodies to search for passwords and the like, there was one person in a lab coat.
Okay. Did he have a name on him? I assume so.
Stop asking me for names.
Well, yeah, but like, no, I'm not asking for a name. But did he have a name that I could like maybe go to his personal quarters or something?
Yeah, there is a name. You can look up his personal quarters.
All right, let's look that up on the computer.
Yep, you find it. It's near the other officers.
Faust makes a note of that and how, pushes herself away from the computer and approaches Oliva, moving to the personal quarters now.
Hold on, is it okay if I check something real quick?
Elsie's no problem with it. She's gonna wait by the door.
Oliver's gonna put some things in real quick. He wants to see this ship's, what this ship was carrying on board. Essentially the, what would you call it? Every vehicle on a ship.
The manifests?
Yeah.
It was carrying 3 mobile suits, an unusually large amount of food, and it says 30 subjects.
30 subjects, 3 mobile suits. Did it have any transport ships that have an HLV?
It had shuttles. The standard complement of 2 of them.
Okay, and none of those were in the hangar.
Yep, none of them are in the hangar.
I'm starting to piece together what happened. Let's continue. That's all I need to know.
Faust nods and makes her way to the personal quarters. So she kind of like talks about it. It appears as if whoever they were studying or keeping here seems like they couldn't control them. A mutiny happened and most likely killed most of the people on board, and the rest left.
Studying people. It said subjects in the logs.
If Faust were to guess, it's most likely about new type research.
But
all right.
These weren't patients. They didn't seem like they were treating them as human. Maybe I'm making assumptions here.
No, there's precedent for that. After all, you don't know what people will do for the sake of knowing. Faust knows that very well.
He's gonna side-eye Faust and then continue.
What do you mean by that?
Matcher not being here complicates things greatly.
They can't. Oh no, Matcher can't translate her tism.
No, more like Matro won't stop you from doing something you will regret.
Probably. All right, let's
I've never
go.
been so happy to not be around for something. Let's see how this all goes.
Right. Into this researcher's quarters. I opened the door to this guy's quarters. Is there a computer in there?
Yes, there is a terminal.
Okay, onto the terminal Faust goes. She boots it up, puts in the first password.
Yep, there are some, I don't know, a couple hundred documents in there.
Faust is gonna read through the first few, or as much as she can read. She's a pretty fast reader, but she's gonna she knows she can't pick up too much time. Like she's gonna read the first one.
First one you see. So, you start from the very beginning, yes?
Yes.
So, oldest document. This talks about the nature of Project Genesis is what they're calling it. In light of recent developments in new type research, there has been a what's the word? Or deficiency in the number of subjects to study. However, the subjects they did have given them a great base to work off from. Purpose of the project is to see if they can artificialize or create an ersatz replacement, and for what they're calling natural new types.
Faust. Something gleams in Faust. He reads them. Artificially creating a new type. She thinks to herself as she begins to keep reading, a bit more interested now.
And it just lists off various proposed chemical compound mixture hers to see if they can kickstart the process or create a some sort of ersatz replacement that isn't quite the same as the new type phenomenon.
Okay. I guess it's time for Faust accidentally causes the creation of the fucking Oakland Research Labs. Oh boy. Yeah. Faust keeps reading it. She goes through one document, then another, then another. Oliver, it's been a bit.
Boss, the things you are reading, you sound like they're straight out of Auschwitz. Like, oh god.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. She's not 100%. Faust, is willing to do things for research. But this is like, all right, yeah, these guys were definitely off the moral, ethical restraints when it came to this. But she's taking the research. She's not focusing 100% focusing on the the process. She's more interested in the results. Gotta put my Samuel Hayden voice in right now.
Results have not been great.
Not great.
After Subject 23 died, they flash cloned a replacement.
Oh, flat. Okay. I guess clones are known technology. I thought that was a
Well,
thing.
yeah,
that
it
was
happens
like,
to Char and Gaia Gear, so
well, yeah, I know, but I thought that was like something developed around, Xeon.
don't worry about it.
Xeon. Okay, you got it, boss. But yeah, no, Faust keeps reading this, but they're fucking up, right? The researchers are dying, but Faust can see potential for this. However, question. Sorry, I'm kind of sort of DMing right now. My bad, Mr. DM man. But Faust has been reading this for a bit, like a bit too long.
Yeah, it's getting concerning, Halva.
Lieutenant, if you need to, we can get a floppy disk back on and.
Yeah, you like as you put like a hand on her shoulder and I don't know, look at Faust's expression. It's kind of similar to this.
Oh God, that's the first time he's seen her smile.
Horrifying.
She's very absorbed into her research, but Halva's voice kind of snaps her out of it. She says, apologies. Can I use a narrative point, or can I just say she has a floppy disk on her?
I'll say you just have one.
All right.
Or whatever the sword device.
It's a floppy
Nice.
disk. It's the 70s.
Yeah, retro sci-fi. Faust pulls out her floppy disk, which she conveniently has. Puts it into
It doesn't surprise me. No, you have to delete your previous research on the Gundam.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough choice, but
you can always get more data on the Gundam.
Yeah, we can always just redo that 14-hour drill. That's no problem. But this is
one of a
once in
kind.
a lifetime. This is once in a lifetime, dude. This is a good discovery because Faust herself is very curious about the new type phenomena. Something about it feels like it could lead her to that. How to put it? Could lead her to that moment where she feels like she's actually accomplished something in her life, something big, where she can revel in the euphoria, if not for just a moment, of feeling like she's completed something. Faust puts the floppy disk in and copies the data. It says, "Would you like to delete data? Fucking Gundam.docx." And she clicks yes.
Yep. So when you were reading Faust, you got up to like the last month, and it started talking about people suddenly hearing voices and things that weren't there on board the ship, and questioning if this is connected to their research at all anyway.
Yeah, she's gonna read that back on the ship, but for now, copies the data, puts it in her pocket, and he turns to Halva. Apologies, Halva.
Lieutenant, what was on there?
It seems it was the research, Halva, what they were doing on this ship. And it was not something. She thinks to herself. Faust believes it would be better if you didn't know the details. As she puts her floppy disk away.
Halva kind of stops her. What did you see on that disc?
She gives him a look. And she sighs a bit. Xeon was not apprehensive about doing whatever it took to get results, even if it meant dehumanizing their subjects and essentially killing them if need be.
I apologize. He sort of moves his leg. Let's
Faust
get back to
places
that.
a hand. Yeah, Faust places a hand on his shoulder. Gives him a kind of understanding nod, but he can understand where the Xeon scientists are coming from with their extremism in this research. Because something inside of her is telling her that this isn't going to be it took Xeon a while to figure out mobile suits. It took what was that guy's name again?
Anakin?
The guy who discovered the Minovsky particle. Who was that guy's name
Minovsky?
again? Yeah, Minovsky. That's right. Yeah, it took
You know it's
Minovsky a
named after
while.
him?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Something tells her this is gonna take a lot. There's something about this potential for the next step in human evolution. Something about it feels like it's gonna take years to crack. And this is just the first step. A gruesome first step, but a first step nonetheless. So she exits the personal quarters and she begins making her way back to the hangar. Seems we have anything useful we could have gotten from this.
Well,
Since you're going on a new path,
Lieutenant,
you're walking along. There's new corpses along, and a hell of a Faust. You see one that looks like guy who looks like he's torn his own throat out.
Faust stops and kind of looks at that guy. And she just keeps on moving. She says, "It appears the ship has fallen to pandemonium.
I mean,
Perhaps,
yes,
perhaps it is simply what most of the remnants and pirates are experiencing, having to live out in the Skull Zone with little to no external communication."
Oliver looks at the guy with half a neck. I don't
That
think...
it looks like so. He looks like he's torn his own throat out, and there's like a bunch of scratch marks all along his neck, and his hands are completely the hands of his normal suit are covered in blood.
Stir crazy doesn't cause this.
And
Usually.
it was but it's most likely both both cabin fever, and what they were doing on this ship research-wise. Apparently, they were continuing to do this experiment up until this month. I don't know why they would do this, but that's a lie. Thus can understand why they would continue research despite having no way of possibly getting funding or supplies, but to call it negligence would be an understatement.
What were they researching?
Yeah, if I'll stay silent, and she just says, the creation of a new type. And she, goes on ahead.
Oliver's going to follow. And as
Alright.
he sees these bodies, just...
This is what it costs.
The new type's the Federation's new obsession, yeah.
I wouldn't say that. If anything, they're continuing mobile suit development and reconstruction. But Faust is not dumb enough to not see that they'll most likely take an interest in this research in a couple of years.
The Federation's never done something like this, but... Is it... No, never mind. Let's keep on.
Faust just to try and settle his fears. Faust, it may have been a case of lacking supplies that led to this. Hopefully, if the Federation does decide to pursue this kind of research, it won't be as barbaric. And they make it back to the hangar, I presume?
Yes, without incident.
All right. Faust gets onto the Gundam,
Lieutenant,
sits in. Oh, yeah.
these
Yes, Oliver?
new types. This hangar held 2 transports, 3 Zakus. Maybe a few of them were lost earlier, but well, he sort of gestures. They might still be out there.
She thinks to herself and sighs and says, "We'll investigate that, then we'll report the ship to the Rio de Janeiro." She gets into Gundam, turns on communications. Courage,
Yes, ma'am?
we're going to be searching the premises. We're looking for what are we looking for again? We're looking for Zaku's transport. What's it called?
A shuttle.
All
We're
right.
looking for shuttles.
It has been
We'll be
5
looking-
days.
We'll be looking for a shuttle. The chances of it being here are slim, but you never know. Keep an eye out. And Faust is gonna, exit the ship in the Gundam.
Hey, then you all three of you fly around. You find some mobile suits, but they're mostly Rickdoms. That can't be it. We're looking for Zaku's, not Rickdoms.
We're looking for Zaxxons. Sure, we don't find a Zaku that doesn't have a normal cockpit and be like he needed an amputee or something to pilot it. That'd be weird.
It's just Rickdoms.
Alright. Faust, what's over the Rickdoms? She, she just kind of. I think she puts them into the hangar so the Federation can retrieve them to make sure no,
Salvage teams or scavengers find them.
yeah, like scavengers or mercenaries or who knows, maybe other remnants could find them and be like, sweet, new mobile suits, new parts.
Score!
This is gonna be great. We finally fixed our victim. Blow up a Jupiter's craft vessel or something. But yeah, no, Faust shoves them in there and continues to search for this transport that may be filled with Zaku's or not.
No, it's a shuttle.
Right, the shuttle.
It had two Zaku's and a shuttle. You cannot find a standard Xeon shuttle.
All right. Faust turns to Helva and puts her hand on the Jim's shoulder and talks through communications.
Not keying courage into the conversation.
Well, yeah, if anything, yeah, it was through encouraging. It appears this transport you're looking for is it here?
We're looking for a transport, ma'am?
Yes, courage. We found some information on that ship. There was we're interested in finding a transport that might lead to more discoveries. Though, it seems it's most likely long gone by now.
Yeah, she says trying to find something like that in here. Hell, like trying to find a ship in here is like trying to look for a needle in a haystack.
That would be correct.
Lucky for us, our needle was growing with radiation, but
That is true. She says, "Would you like to continue searching just to be sure, Oliver?"
no, He sort of thinks back to the disc. No, we're good. We got what we came for. Let's get out of here.
That's nuts. We'll be exiting the interference zone and contacting the Rio de Janeiro. And then we will wait for them to come and retrieve their ship. Understood?
Understood.
Yep,
Courage?
Oh, yes, ma'am?
No, I was just asking if she, would, understand the order.
Yes, she does.
Okay, cool. Let's call the ship.
Yep, so you all exit the immediate area of this Musai to go find the Rio. You do.
Cool. Faust is gonna open comms. This is Junior Lieutenant Fausto de Rio de Janeiro.
Uh, what's your number again? You're Rio what?
Well, I assume I'd be Rio number 2, but considering what's his face? Sorry, Matro is out of commission. I guess she'd be Rio number 1 for the moment.
No, that's not how the unit. So like, what's the word? So on your order of battle, the things don't change so long as there isn't like a permanent change.
Oh, so I guess she's still like number 2.
Yeah.
All right. This is Rio 2, Junior Lieutenant Faust. Can you hear me, Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah, Rio Actual can hear you. Find
Rio,
anything?
yes, Rio Actual. Would you please connect me to the captain?
One moment, ma'am. Here's some switches flipping. Then you see a very, very small video feed on your comm link. There is Minosky interference, so it isn't crystal clear, but you can hear him say, "What did you need, Lieutenant?"
Faust looks him dead in the eye, and she just says, "My team has discovered an abandoned Musai class. Recent abandoned. It was Flanagan Institute, sir."
What's the Flanagan Institute doing here?
That's what we should find out. She'll give them the data disk later, but she just says, "I believe the Federation would take an interest in this ship, sir."
Most
Or
likely.
Faust believes. Yeah. Faust then says, "Then I believe it would be in our best interest to retrieve it, sir."
Route me the coordinates.
Faust will send him the coordinates.
And Metro, you are apparently now moving.
Is he still reading the fucking? Oh wait, no, he already rolled up the newspaper. Never mind.
Yeah. He's yeah, what are you doing, Metro?
Well, I said I'd be monitoring, so I imagine I like as soon as people came back into range. I don't know if any of this was broadcast or not, if this has been direct.
Yeah, so I imagine you asked Bark Actual, your chief communications officer, her to like tell you if anything's going on.
Yeah.
And something has just happened. So you have been keyed into the situation.
Well, this seems interesting. How long can a Zaku, like, what's its onboard supplies? Like, how long can a Zaku be out there on its own? Because if we've got a couple unaccounted for, and this ship's been abandoned for 5 days, was it?
Engines, months. Oxygen, a day.
So they've either found air or they're
Dead, very dead.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very, very dead.
Not Bark team. Rio team moves into a picket position around the Rio. You see another Musai, this one active, right in the same location as the abandoned one you just found.
God
The
damn
Rio
it.
ends up opening fire, and they start trading shots. And the Flanagan Musai gets hit and is destroyed.
No. Well, Faust got what she needed out of it, so it isn't 100% a loss.
Yep. Luckily for you, though, the other Musai was destroyed before it could launch mobile suits.
All right. Faust is looking at the Musai drop, destroying, blowing up the Flanagan Institute. Presumably, the Flanagan Institute logo is like burning as she looks at it, and she just
You know,
kind
the
of
camera pans to it.
Yeah, and she reaches to her pilot's suit and looks at the floppy disk. She knows what she's gonna do when she gets back to the ship.
Yep. So sortie's over. It is currently like 3 p.m. And you all go to dock on the Rio. Naturally, your team is back to you after like 5 hours. Sitting around.
It's been a long day. It's like,
Very boring for you.
yeah.
Long day reading good old Freeside propaganda.
Yeah. Which at this point I've probably disposed of because I've absorbed everything I'm going to absorb out of this one.
Right. Faust exits her Gundam.
Naturally, you gonna go greet them?
Yeah.
Yep, so Courage, Itch, and Halava, everyone gets out. Courage is taking off her helmet. It scratches the top of her head, adjusts her hair.
Faust takes off her helmet. Shakes her head a bit, hair flowing in the wind, even though she has a pretty short cut, but you know what I mean.
Those helmets get itchy after a while.
Yeah, swish, swish. And I guess as she sees Lieutenant Mastro approaching, she says, Lieutenant.
And sounds like you guys found something interesting out there, even if it wasn't what we were originally searching for.
You would be correct. She says, yeah, you know what? Faust, as she says that, and she says, if you'll excuse me, I'll be debriefing to the captain now. She says as she kind of walks past him and
Halva's going to hold Fast on the hold Fast's shoulder real quick.
Faust turns to him.
No, wait, stop. I'd like for Halava to make a roll for me, and I'd like Foss to oppose this roll.
Okay.
What's the roll?
So, and this is not the only roll I'm going to have to ask, so don't immediately act this out. I want you both to roll me poise and acrobatics.
One success.
Ooh, critical fail.
Okay, then Halava, you stop her in her tracks. You get in front of her.
Okay. Halva is going to be like, before you go, he sort of hold up on the disc.
She raises an eyebrow. What do you mean, Lieutenant? Chief Petty Officer?
Matcher, what disc?
I was just gonna say, what disc?
He's gonna there's some information, but it's some information the Federation may confiscate, and you may not get a proper look into.
Faust is aware. That's why she isn't going to tell them first. Not until Faust gets through all of the data.
That will take a few days, won't it?
Most likely.
He lets
What
Fast
data?
go.
What?
Matcher doesn't know anything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I
He's-
was like,
he's
what was
sitting
on
there
that ship? You two are acting very spooky right now.
You two are acting really tense, and this is
Yeah, Faust, you hear Matcher say, what happened on that ship? You guys are acting really spooky right now.
Faust turns to him. We found, as Halava said, we found information that may interest the Federation. The Faust would like to look at the data first.
Have you ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Is that movie out yet?
Yes, I think.
One moment.
70s, yeah.
Yeah.
1968, apparently.
UC 101, A Space Odyssey. UC 101, A Space Odyssey.
Sorry, 0001, a space. Yeah, you made the joke first.
My favorite part was when the movie ended with Laplace getting bombs.
Yeah, Macho, you don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're not explaining things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's like. Do you guys need a minute to coordinate your stories here, or what? What's going on? What did you find on that ship?
New type bullshit.
He was the first to coin the phrase. It was Halva. Fast size. She's going to. She doesn't really have a choice. She'll just, I guess, diverge the information. Faust and Halva have discovered research about the new type phenomenon aboard the ship. Faust is interested in this data.
Bridge asks, what kind of stuff did you find?
Research. Not the best kind of research, but research nonetheless. We aim to find no Zaku's.
No Zaku, boy, no Zaku. But he doesn't mean that it's not a Zaku. That means there's no Zakus.
There's no Zaku's.
You get
Everything
Zaku.
must go.
Ah! They had a blowout sale before they fucking shot each other to death.
Buy one
They went to
Zaku.
their fucking, like, they had a meetup. There's like a fucking like spot where all the Xeon Remnant ship can meet up, and they have fucking bargain sales. Like, me and our crew are gonna go out and shoot each other to death, so everything on the ship must go. Paid exclusively on Xeon Gold bars.
That we stole from Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, are you gonna push this at all?
Yeah, I was just wait. I was letting this play out. It's like, what was going on that ship, and why is everyone being so cagey about reporting what we saw or what you saw?
Yeah, you look between Halava, who looks traumatized, and Voss has what I assume is a pretty crazed look in her eyes.
There's something a bit off, yeah. There's something a bit off. She turns to Oliver.
I think maybe we should keep this to ourselves for right now.
Faust was planning on doing so. I believe Faust has said this numerous times already.
Yes.
And the issue is, if we're hiding information, this can never go up the chain without getting in a whole lot of trouble. So just we'll have to keep that in mind.
That is true. She's looking. I'm sure this data will never find its way to Federation hands.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like, we can choose to hide this, but if you're gonna hide it, it has to be hidden deep, because like we can't come back in 3 days. Like, yeah, we finally decided to trust you, our like superiors, with this possibly important information.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I will, because again, Matra not really a big believer in this whole
New type bullshit
new type
stuff.
thing. This sounds like nonsense. Like, just make an informed decision here. If you want to look at this like on your own, it means you're basically never going to let this go, because we can't really be picking and choosing what information we hide from our superiors.
Courage scratches your cheek. Maybe it's best that it's destroyed then?
Faust gives Courage a look.
What kind of luck?
It is very much a no. Like capital N-O, no, with a period at the end.
Listen, this might increase the risk of. This might double the risk of us being found out, but how about we keep 2 copies?
That's what Faust was planning. And this is literally what I was gonna do. I was gonna have Faust like copies of data on a different disc. But yeah, if anyone, yeah, Faust nods.
One
That is a good option.
one entrusted to Faust, and one entrusted to Macho and I. Courage,
I'm sorry, I just realized this is a literature moment, but this is basically like us giving the information to the Federation is basically like Faust making the deal with Mephistopheles.
Deal with the devil. Unlimited budget.
Unlimited budget. We're gonna have that Cambrian explosion of mobile suit development. Just you wait.
Also, did anyone check what the second Musai was? Like, was it another Flanagan Institute ship, or is it a unaffiliated remnant?
Can I use a narrative point to see if it was?
You can.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna use a narrative point. Was it a Flanagan Institute ship, or was it a?
No, it was a Giran fleet ship.
No, she says. It appears to have been an unrelated remnant. No, she thinks back to the data log. Because it was part of Gieran's fleets. There's a chance they were trying to recover what they could to keep it out of our hands. Unfortunately, we found it first.
Right then.
So out of
But,
character, like, we all know we're kind of dooming ourselves from the get-go by keeping this information, right?
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, what's the word?
Hey, not only hey, look.
At best, you are delaying their research. Because
What?
as a bit of meta irony, we all know that the Federation makes the Murasame lapse sooner or later.
This just depends on if we're partially responsible for it or not.
And if you get in trouble for stymieing their efforts.
Yeah, if anything, okay. This is gonna sound insane, but gotta admit, if this was an official side manga, this would be the part readers would be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's give the data. Let's cause the Murasame Institutes. Let's traumatize Camille Badon.
Question. This is kind of an out of character thing because it's the space 1970s. How networked together are computers and stuff on this ship? Like, is there any risk of if we're examining this like on personal computer or anything like that?
Okay, allow me to put it this way: the internet is a pure military invention.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be
The only other people who use the internet are like professors, so they can look up other things other professors have written, and no one else uses the internet.
Yeah, that's true. I know, I get what you're getting at, but also there's Gundam Walpurgis, which the protagonist was literally a streamer before he becomes a Gundam pilot, which is really
I have a question. Is that an animated show?
Fuck.
Then I'm allowed to ignore it at my own will.
Fine, okay, alright.
Yeah. Okay. No, fair enough. Long story short, I was just trying to get at is this going to be something that we have to be like risky about not using, like any of the onboard computers to actually examine, or not?
Do so at your own peril.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that leaves us the options. We have our mobile suits. Do we still have that? Most of a Gelgoog laying around?
No, you got rid of that a while ago.
I'd rather not. I want to hold on to that. Oh well. Yeah, probably wouldn't let you keep that. That's
this is reasonable. Like the inter-party conflict, but we've decided to all just decide, yeah, you know what? Let's sell our souls to the devil, baby.
That's what I was expecting Faust to do.
Oh no, absolutely. As soon as you brought up Flanagan's job, like, oh boy, Here I
Behind the
go.
moment. Here's the moment.
Oh boy, this is what I've been waiting for. This is where the fun begins.
So there reminds me, Christopher Hayden. Apparently, he's actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah. So yeah, no. With that, Faust will return to her quarters and copy the data to a separate disk, and then Faust will will give the initial copy to the captain. Does that sound, does that sound agreeable?
Yeah, I guess my concern is. Sorry, this is out of here. I'm just trying to weigh if this is as like sketchy as Al was making this sound. I'm not sure about this plan to making a copy then giving one to the captain. This is like making a copy and giving one to the captain is like you have now chosen, as far as Master's concerned, the worst of both worlds. It's like great, we're both giving over the information, but also like making our own copy. So we'll get in shit for that. And if this information is like too dangerous to give out, it's like, well, too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's anyone who has to argue against this, because Courage wasn't there. Courage doesn't know what's going on. It has to be Paloma.
Yeah, because my trust in the Federation has gone down significantly over the last little bit. But I do not know enough for this to be like a moral event horizon.
Like, okay, so like imagine this. It is not the year 2024 where no one trusts any government institutions anymore because they keep fucking you over. It's 1979. Fine. There's been a lot of goodwill over the last decade, and they just won the war.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So
I know
the Federation by this point.
Yeah, this is like we know that there's sketchy shit going on in the Federation, but overall,
characters don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I ask is that we can find an excuse later. It won't be bulletproof. It might screw us over, but I think it's best if we just, for a little bit, keep it to ourselves. I don't know if this information.
Faust nods.
All
And she
I
turns. Oh,
listen.
sorry. Continue.
Here's the deal. How about you give me the copy, and if Faust decides to turn it in, I'll be the one to take the blame.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I want to look this thing over before we do anything.
Faust knows in her gut that Hala's immediately not going to like what he sees, but it's probably the best thing to do at the moment. So he nods. I'll give you the copy.
Just before everyone goes their separate ways, and just so everyone's clear, this conversation, whatever the hell this is, never happened.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, yeah, no. I'm definitely. A part of me does want to do Titan Spouse, but if anything, it would be Titan Spouse who's actually secretly like feeding information to the AU or some shit.
I don't know. I feel like if Faust ending up as a Titan would be interesting because like we can keep this campaign going. Like what's the word? I don't have unlike my 1-year war campaign. I don't really have like a set narrative end. Like we can just like keep going as long as you guys really want to. Like I'll have natural breaks for us, or if we want to decide we want to put things down.
Super and machine situation. Yeah, you know what? Let's start.
Yes, mask and machine.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's the plan, folks? I think we're gonna start as Titans in the Zeta season and then ditch them for the AU. How's that sound?
No, it's the 0084 season.
Yeah. Oh, Advance to Zeta time. Titans.
I've never seen Advance to Zeta, and I don't care about it.
Look. The Rio de Janeiro team are gonna test out cool shit, and it's gonna be awesome. And we get to blow up Zeke.
Anyways, where were we?
Right. Halva was gonna get the copy, presumably after Faust goes and fucking reads it for like 50 days. But she'll give the data, and then read it over on the copy, and then she'll give the copy to Haliva just in case they find out that we have a copy.
Yeah.
So
And Holiver agreed to take the fall for the plan which he's supporting. Because Holiver doesn't really have a career in the Federation right now, and so...
Well, that's what you really want to do, but, like, that... You guess that's what you do now.
I mean, he wants
He's
to
not
have a
super
career.
committed to it.
this
Listen,
episode,
a lot of things happened in the past, like, hour.
it's been very stressful.
Literally, like, in the beginning of the episode, I'm like, you know, if Holiver keeps up, he's going to end up as a Titan. Like, that's his arc. And now we're here.
Now we're at potentially joining the AU. We've gone from hell yeah, let's go Titans to like, okay, wait, should we be responsible for Auschwitz 2.0 or semi-responsible? Okay, that's okay.
For the safety of everyone else's career, Natro is just playing the Sergeant Schultz "I know nothing" card at this point.
I don't know what's going on. My men are my comrades are acting weird. I'm sure this will all fizzle out in the next week, and then it cuts to fucking 7 years later, and it's like
Yeah,
shit.
Natro's in a prison.
That would be an unexpected, unpleasant course of events.
Oh yeah, it would, especially when two Federation officers interrogate you and physically threaten you.
That's no, that would never happen.
Gundam, fucking day after Zeta. Is gonna
Swappy,
be
the thing you don't realize is that's already happened to Metro.
True.
Yeah, so remember I asked Frep if he wanted to fill in for our drop from the original campaign crew we had. Frep agreed, so we did what we call a mid-quill, just like see what everyone's doing after the war.
Right.
And it turns out that inadvertently I was way more of a bro. It's like, you know, anything suspicious about these guys? Nah, nothing ever. It was totally fine. I definitely have nothing to report to throw anyone under any buses.
That also might be a separate universe from this one, depending on if...
Don't worry about it too much.
This
If
is
Macho died.
this is like the fucking this is like the last episode and this episode. This is like the big event in a Gurren's Greed game that depends on how your campaign's gonna go.
Oh, that's funny.
Nah, Halava. It's just that Macho has certain plot armors. He can lose fights, but he will never die.
So true. All right. So, we ready to roll? We ready to act this out?
Scene.
Okay. Faust leaves, presumably with Halava and Macho in tow, leaving Courage completely like, what the hell just happened, right?
Actually, Matcher is not going to go on tow on this one, unless I know the safer for everyone. Because if I ever get questioned on this, I know nothing.
That's right. Yeah, you know nothing. This is all on us. That's right. All right. So Halava and Faust are gonna go to her room.
Metro, since you haven't had a lot of scenes, I'm gonna have you're gonna socialize with Courage.
Yeah.
She gets out her flask and takes a sip, and she hands it to you. Drinks her.
Sounds like a very good idea, and I'll take a long pull of it.
It is hard liquor because that's the only thing you can drink in space. She takes back the flask. She says, "You think everything's gonna be all right?"
It's gonna be all right.
I think we're gonna have to trust the Halva and Faust's judgment. So we may need a bigger one of those. I'll point at the flask.
Yells over, "Penny bun!"
Halva fucking leaving this to Faust and fucking Halva this is definitely. I wouldn't have done this, but I feel like if this was a show, Halva read the disc on the Musashi, pulls out a gun on Faust, so they leave in a climax episode that leads to a main pilot dying. Yeah, probably.
Dramatic.
You can't do this, Faust. I am going to do this.
It's a
However,
space opera.
it's a space up. Yeah, okay, so I'm
It's
probably
like
not
just the door to the hangar closes and we just hear a gunshot as they both leave.
yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, I probably won't do this now, considering how this has started to go. But it depends on what happens. But my idea for Titan's Faust is kind of not okay.
Hmm.
That is the general. That was the general idea. But it seems they're going to be a much more, normal and sane and not insane.
As normal as Faust can be.
As normal as Faust can be. Yeah, men these days they don't let us women do anything for just war crimes.
And crimes against humanity.
Yeah, but yeah, no, my idea was definitely this Faust would definitely be probably like a self-induced cyber new type. Like she herself was like, "All right, strap me to the desk. We're gonna get some hands-on data with this." And they're like, "Are you sure, Professor? Are you sure, Doctor Faust?" And she's like, "Fucking do it."
I'm
And
just
she ends
thinking
up,
of Norman Osborn.
yeah, do it. The goblin gas, give it to me now. Imagine the surgery's over. It looks like Faust is dead. One of the scientists like looks over, like, "Oh my god, Miss Faust!" And Faust's eyes shoot open. She grabs him by the neck.
Uh,
I love the Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Fucking Faust going for this.
Anyways, yeah, Faust and Oliver are walking along.
All right, Faust enters her room. It's filled with all the data, just a bunch of papers all over the room. It's a bit
Yeah,
messy.
Oliver, you see a cork board. You see cork boards that cover the entire breadth of one wall, just full of papers with all
Jesus.
sorts of stuff.
This one says it's
very
from
much
somebody named Alex.
Alex. Like, sounds like a reference.
I'm referencing the Alex Gundam.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
there's.
why. I was expecting it to just be a callback to your letter from Gasoline again.
Oh
So
no, yeah,
it threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait, what?
I have it pinned to my fridge. No, I fucking don't. But yeah, no, there's definitely a bunch of stuff. Yeah, like Halva says, and she just says it was it was a prototype Gundam testing out a new cockpit layout that was destroyed by a Zeon Special Forces unit by around the time of the Battle of Solomon. An unfortunate loss. Well, it wasn't destroyed, more so just heavily damaged. Apparently, it was intended to be handed over to Amuro Ray for the Battle of the Babaku.
The Federation doesn't give that information to anyone. You sure?
Am I okay to know this?
Yeah.
Faust just shrugs. As Lieutenant Masher says, "You know nothing of this."
Right. I thought it was like your girlfriend or something. Jesus.
No, remember this is
Yeah,
the '80s. Girlfriend?
yeah, I guess so.
Federation, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, Faust Haliva fucking. This would be where the shippers go crazy. This would be where the fucking foul of the ships go. Like all the fan art just goes crazy. But yeah, no. Faust puts the floppy disk into her computer and boots it up, and begins to copy it down
I'm
to a
just
square.
thinking. I'm just thinking like people would have gone. Yeah, shippers would have gone fucking mad. Just like during the practice waltz scene from last session.
Yeah, it's like, oh my
Typical
god,
fan art.
They're dancing. They're dancing.
they're dancing! Oh my god, it's real!
Oh, Oliver's going to take the copy once it's done. He's gonna be
Yeah.
like, remember, if anything goes wrong, he's going to bend the floppy disk a little bit, like almost breaking it, but not really.
She nods, though she says, "Would you allow Faust to read through it first before she hands it over to you officially.
That's what the copy's for, is it not?
Right. Then I suppose we'll give the original to the captain now for the debrief. She looks at the disc. And she exits the room. Presumably with
Wait. Just so I know what's going on. You guys did agree that you're handing it over to the captain, right?
Yes, and we're using our copy to keep it to ourselves as well, while giving it to Haliva, so if anything happens, he takes the fall for it, which he volunteered for. And Macho
Okay,
is
so
taking the
you're
stand.
not. I just wanted to be very clear that you are giving this to the Federation.
Right.
Matt,
Don't
Yeah.
know what Baffers will do with it.
This will be a very much a a drama point by season Zeta. But yeah, Faust enters the bridge, presumably with Haliva with her.
Well, no, like my big list of names. Got no names.
Oh,
Actually, well, no, let me scroll up a bit. Yeah, Theresa name. You're the ship's first officer. Greets you. Lieutenant Ed Faust.
she turns, gives a salute. Officer,
Yeah, it's a commander.
Commander.
What we couldn't exactly recover much from the damaged Musai. What did you see in there?
Faust says bodies and information. She pulls out the floppy disk. We'll be handing it to the captain directly.
Captain's currently sleeping. I can take it to she put watch, and his next shift is in 4 hours. Unless this is very urgent.
it's probably best we give it to him ourselves, don't you think?
Yes, this is very sensitive research data. This will most likely be going up to the very top of the Federation, if anything. I believe it would be best for us to give it to the captain directly. If he chooses to sleep and then turn it to the Federation, that is fine by us.
What exactly was on there?
Just just some files relating to some mobile suit development. Oliver's going to sort of stay in front of Frost.
All right, yeah, Faust is going to collaborate with this. The Flanagan Institute was responsible for creating some of the more experimental suits. There's a chance the Federation and Jaburo can benefit from this. As someone who was heavily involved with mobile suit development for the Federation, I have a responsibility to ensure this data is given to them.
I will say I am a little confused. I thought we originally agreed to hold out on the information and then
That's why I
possibly
brought
give
it up.
later.
That's like why I brought
This
it
is
up.
why I've stayed quiet because like this was no.
Yeah,
That's
wait,
like-
no, didn't we say we were gonna make a copy, give it to the captain?
The match was like this is the worst possible of all of our options. This is the one that gives us all of the downside. But to be fair, he walked away from this, so
He walked away and he got drunk. So you know what? If we die, that can be his survivor's guilt for not stopping it.
that's fair. Yeah, because he said like if we hide this, you just have to make sure it's hidden forever.
We
The
don't bring
plan
this
of
up to
making
anybody.
copies, giving one to the captain, but keeping a copy for
Look,
herself is like this
It
is
may not make the most sense, but it's definitely the most dramatic.
Well, what I was thinking is that we keep the copies and then decide what to do with them on a later date, even though that might get us in trouble later.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought that was going on. So like
Okay,
that's why
okay,
that's
okay.
why I mentioned. Wait,
We were
you're sure this is what you all agreed to?
I thought. I'm sorry. I thought we were handing it to the captain. Do you want to redo this?
You know, just
Yeah,
like
because like that's
rewind
why I
time
said.
back
Yeah,
to.
I brought it up to everyone else. Like this is
Can
what is
we?
going on.
Can
Like
we? Can we? All right, Faust.
sure, sure.
Faust. Faust. Faust
You're back in Faust's cabin. It is small.
yeah.
It's full of papers, and you have
Faust
just
says.
copied the floppy disk.
Oh,
Faust does the fucking Life is Strange where she raises her hand, and time starts fucking winding back.
so right there,
That's
that
my
was
new
the
type power.
divergence point, eh? Like Faust imagine, yeah, just go give it to the captain, and then snaps back to the room. It's like, oh right, here I am.
We're not supposed to do that.
We're
Oliver
back.
looks very betrayed.
Oliver will remember that TM. All right, Faust holds the data and gives Halva the copy.
All
I
right.
suppose I will hold on to the original until we decide what to do, and you will hold on to the copy.
Again, if this gets anybody in trouble, it'll be me. So, if this does get to the Federation, then don't worry.
Understood, she says. Then I suppose I will see you later. After all, I have to look this over. Well, I suppose.
Do you have the debriefing?
Yeah. Faust has to go do. Yeah, she just says Faust will have to do the debriefing first.
Alright. I sure hope that your thirst for knowledge doesn't lead you to immoral and improbable places.
Really laying it in thick, aren't you,
Awesome.
Halibut?
Yeah, Oliver also tired. Fuck you for being that blatant.
No, that's not canon.
Like he's saying that, he's like fucking jabbing Faust in the ribs with his elbow.
I'm just gonna check the sheet. Like, how many plot points have we had to burn on retcons in the last 80 seconds?
No,
Hey,
Yeah,
at least it isn't so bad that you're trying to retcon the date of the Gregorian calendar.
it's so true. But yeah, Faust will now report to her after action report to get debriefed.
Yeah, you find Theresa name, first mate, EXO of the Rio.
Definitely
In
haven't met her before. We definitely weren't talking with her like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, it says, "Oh, Lieutenant. What did you find on that ship? We couldn't recover anything."
All right, we're gonna keep our mouths shut, right? I need.
Yeah.
All right.
How many narrative points do you have? 4.
Spent one to retcon. Yeah. Okay. So we're all going to keep our mouths shut unless we decide to give it to the Fed or
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, Faust. If you do actually want to give this to the captain, Holloway cannot stop you.
It's true. He can't.
I also would not hold it against you as a player because that is something Foss would do. But
It would be very funny.
Yeah,
I would.
Faust. Swabby. Think about this really hard for a good minute.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah,
I hadn't been given this serious of a choice before. Holy shit! All right.
this is
Do
a
I
big
want it?
decision. Think
All
about
right.
it.
I need to consult some people. Give me a second.
Very important moral decision Faust has to make right here.
I need to convene with the fucking the professionals. Considering who my character is based on, I need to convene with the professionals.
you are correct. You are correct, Fep. It would be funny.
It would be really fucking funny. I want to crimes against humanity as a treat, you know?
Oh man, this I don't want to influence you, but I am the narrative possibilities from any decision you make right now are all very entertaining to me.
This is the moment. This is like the moment of all time. I need to assemble the fucking round table for this. Give me a second. Holy shit. Okay. I had a thought. Faust
Yeah.
is part of
Oh.
Jaburo. Faust is part of Jaburo, right?
Yeah, the Jaburo branch of the OPV project.
Yeah. Yeah. So technically, she kind of reports directly to Federation headquarters, right?
Well, EFF headquarters.
Right.
And they in turn earn reports to CAR.
Right.
Since you are currently part of the Earth Federation Space Forces, your chain of command goes it goes Matro, the Captain, Mintov, Lex, Admiral Cohen, Luna 2, Jaburo, Dakar.
Okay. Faust looks at her breast pocket, presumably where the disc is stored. I'm still
Something
thinking
wrong,
about this.
Lieutenant?
I
I almost feel like this is the one time I want us to end on a cliffhanger and just
That
just
fuck
wait.
yeah, this is cliffhanger. Okay, wait, no, let me read this.
Yeah, like Faust like holds it in her pocket, like her coat over her hand, and then the credits roll.
This is funny.
You think you're going to make a decision in the next 2 minutes?
I hope so.
'Cause
I
need to
think so.
pee.
I
I'm gonna
think
go
so.
pee.
Yeah, please go. Yeah, so
I'll give you some time.
this is tough. This is a moment of all time. Right. Points, war crimes, reconvene. Points, For's backstory. Counterpoint. Psycho gun. Point. That one scene from narrative where the girl like screams and smashes her head against glass and you can hear her fucking like her hair ripping from the glass as she slumps over, right?
Oh man, that is a evocative scene right there.
Yeah, did you see that scene?
Yeah,
My players, I have returned.
All right, we're discussing the pros and cons of this. I'm sorry it's taking so long. Please look at VC spam. This is what our decision making has come to. Okay.
Twix really was right. It's a dialectic between war is bad and oh cool robot.
Wow, cool robots. Point.
It's all Hegelian
Oh.
dialectics.
I definitely have a side I'm cheering for right now, but I don't dare say anything.
Is it the war crime side?
I dare say nothing.
That's for you to guess after you've made the decision. That's for you to find out after you've made your decision.
Yeah, once you've reached the point of no return, whichever point that is.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, you were asked a question. Is something wrong, Lieutenant?
Yes. I'm thinking about it. Point. Scene of the girl offing herself in narrative and hearing her hair ripped from the glass. Counterpoint. Think about it. If I turn in this data, that's going to eventually lead to the unicorns, right? It's going to lead
No,
to
think about it this. The unicorns will always happen.
Well, yeah, but also
You
this is going to lead
cannot stop
to
the Federation. You can only slow them down. The
this
question
is.
do you want Faust culpable?
Do I want? Okay, so the character Faust is based off, which I'm sure you've already fucking clicked on, is based off a gotcha character. She's very much a as long as it serves my interests. I have a question.
Yes.
If I turn this data in, was there a chance Faust will be able to get her foot in the door in the cyber new type research or the new type research in general?
Yes, because you are a very accomplished test pilot.
Right.
You will get material benefits for turning this
I
in, because it is a
will.
massive fine.
I will get benefits.
Yes.
I look at my brother.
However, you also remember this. If Foss cares about this, you may like poison your relationship with Matro, Holliva, and Courage.
Right. Oh. Oh.
Does Foss care about that?
You see, the thing is, she does care. But okay, wait. Let me see something. Let me try and put it into words. Let me try and look something up to put it into words.
This agonizing decision.
This is
Exactly what I wanted.
all right. Give me a sec. I'm gonna post this video. Skip the 29 seconds in, and I think you'll get the crux of Faust.
파우스트일까? 언제가 되면 만족할 수 있을까? 그때를 찾을 수 있을까? 언제가 되면
This is definitely a point of
No
will this
return.
will this be a point of her where she can will this research lead her to a zenith? Will she be able to relish in that moment for what feels like an eternity? Will she be ready to accept what comes next?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm trying. This is such a hard choice.
What would Foss do?
I'm thinking. I'm thinking really. All right. Faust looks at the copy and she thinks to Halva and Mashro. And she decides to keep it in her pocket. And she says, "Nothing is wrong, Commander." And she reports to her briefing.
What does
And
she
she
say
tells
about the ship?
she tells them what they found. They found bodies and not much of else. There's presumably some sort of research going on there, and then before they can further investigate, they decided to go report the ship to the rest of the crew, to the rest of the ship. You know, the Musai to the ship, and then it got destroyed in
You
that
know the rest.
skirmish, right? And Faust returns to her room, and Faust begins to read over the file once more. And she reads the documents, and her eyes are shimmering in the dark room. Her room is dark. Her eyes are shimmering. She's got that fucking smile on her face. She decides to create a third floppy disk.
Oh,
Who's to say she gave them the data? After all, she has the original right here, doesn't she? Alva has the copy, and there were no other copies made. Right? Right? That makes sense.
wait, what? So, run me through exactly what you're doing.
Faust is going to make a third copy of the data.
Okay, then. Follow
going-
so far.
She is technically keeping her promise. She didn't give them the original floppy disk, and she's not giving them the copy of Halava's. She's going to make a third copy. She's going to go to the captain's room directly.
Yep, you
She
go to the captain's room.
She knocks on the door. He's sleeping, but that doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, he's sleeping. He gets up. Did you need something, Lieutenant? He starts rubbing his eyes.
Faust says, "Captain,
Yes?
what is your opinion on furthering the research of the Federation.
My orders are to help it in any way I can.
And would you be willing to accept the consequences if something bad were to come of it?
He looks for a moment. What are you talking about?
She pulls out the third copy. She says, "This is containing very important data concerning that ship we found. I am giving it to you. I want you to make a decision, Captain. You can read through this, and you can decide what you want to do with it. You can hand it over to the Federation, you can give it to perhaps the Commodore, or you can destroy it." And I hand him the disc.
Destroy it?
It all comes to your decision, and she leaves.
That's where the episode ends.
And she has that fucking smirk on her face. Not a smirk anymore, no. It's more of a deranged smile. This is the start for her. This may be where she can reach that zenith of accomplishment. It all depends on if the captain will hand it to him. I kept my promise. I didn't give.
Mhm.
I didn't
I
give
feel
the
like
date.
you lied.
That is. You
Hey,
made a
look-
promise to your wingman, not to some fey trickster. It's like,
Yeah, if Matcher finds out, if Matcher and Hollow finds out about this, they will be angry with you. I'm gonna be straight with you.
straight up.
All right, guys, should we spend
But
another
I
year?
do love the idea of like, because I can see Fast like, no, I didn't lie. I said this. It's like that is distinction without a difference.
That is stretching the truth by a lot. All right, last chance,
I'm so
everyone.
happy, by the way, because that. Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
I'm so glad that's how this worked out. By the way,
Yeah, fuck it. Let's make the best of both worlds. But also, you know, she keeps the data, the Federation keeps the data, and Halva keeps his.
You put me in an interesting position, Faust. Swappy. Because now I have to make the decision.
That's right. I just jumped it to you. And if
I'm
anyone-
gonna make the decision that makes your life the hardest. You do know this, right?
Yes, I know this. You're probably gonna give it to the Federation, and they're probably gonna find out, and they're probably gonna be like, "Faust, what the fuck?" And Faust is probably gonna have to, you know, say something. This is the traumatic. This is Faust suffering from her first moral dilemma. Fuck it, you take. If anything, if the captain destroys it, she'll probably still end up giving it anyway. She's gonna get her foot in the fucking door for that research. No matter-
the more you talk about it, just the more you're like, no, this is right call. Fuck, I'm gonna do it anyways. To hell with traipsing around the tree. I love it. This is great.
No, I love it too. This is
We're
Yeah.
playing.
So
We're-
here's an
we're-
interesting question.
That said, if Matro finds out that you like betrayed Halva like that, he's gonna take you out behind the woodshed.
Matro is armed and in charge of you. He can easily get you fragged.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mean to shoot him. I just mean
Like beat her.
there may be
senseless.
corrective actions taken. Like
Give him the good old bright slap.
maybe get courage to do it. That might last better.
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at, for example. So, courage's stats would mean, let's see, on a 9. Actually, no, on a 10 because duelist. Yeah, I need to roll a 10 on a 2d6. That's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah. All right. So Faust.
She will steal. She will break one of your teeth.
Yeah. Fuck it. You know what? Faust is not a good. She's not a bad person, but she's also not a good person.
Oh, this is fantastic.
She's
so how
going.
did everyone feel about the episode?
She's gonna keep her promise in a weird, twisted way. but she's still gonna get what she wants out of this.
So you
I
want
just don't remember there being a specific
you want
promise.
to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Doesn't usually end well, but it leads
Ever.
for great drama if fucking Zeta ever happens.
Halva sees
Like,
what
I
the
already-
cyber
I already-
new type is.
I already told you. If anything, the next time period we're gonna go to is 84.
Immediately? Oh yeah, this would be like the season 1 ending, wouldn't it? This would be like to be continued.
No. No, we still have. There's one plot thread in the
Oh, right.
0080.
The guy, the free side fleets.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it just depends on if the captain's gonna snitch, and who's to say the Federation didn't get the data from somewhere else? That's if somebody high enough was able to tell Halva or Matro that data specifically came from Faust. If the captain tells them, sure.
But you know who will know for sure that they gave the data up? Faust. And that gets to eat at Faust, or not, the rest of their days.
For the rest of their days, Faust has completed her literature reference and made a deal with the devil.
Oh, this was fantastic.
Okay, so I have an interesting question. So, if they find out about this, what are they gonna do about it?
Presumably, like, beat the shit out of her. God damn it, Faust.
We trusted you.
You wouldn't get it. You all have, like, actual, like, you guys are normal. You guys are, like, normal people.
Don't have autism.
You don't have the tism. You wouldn't get it. If anything,
I mean,
Right.
Matcher is more offended more in principle of like going around your like wingman's back like this, but it's
After
Halva
making
who's
it
got
really
like the direct knowledge of what the fuck was on there, and who'll have the, I assume, stronger emotional response.
So, the way I'm thinking about it, yeah, Matcher is definitely going to ask Halava what the hell was on there sooner or later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finding out later might make it worse.
No, I feel like Matcher has already learned his lesson that you don't let things lie.
Yeah, after the whole. Yeah, that's true.
You saw where that already took you.
oh my god, I was actually gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do AU. And then I realized, wait a second. I can just make another copy, can't I?
You know what something else is? You can also just make another character.
It's true, I could. But I really like Faust.
Yeah,
This was the most
everyone in
fun
this-
option.
The only person in this campaign who's not expendable is Matro. Everyone else can die, be replaced.
And to be fair, Matro could just like be put on a bus at any moment and just reappear later in the sacred timeline. So,
Secret
like-
timeline.
Honestly,
But I like Matro. I feel like we have more. Matro isn't done yet.
I mean, I wouldn't say Faust is done yet.
You know, Tired. You say that about the AU, but they're you do know their main backer is Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they do, but they don't have the research institutes in question, Listen, remember what I said the first time? Remember, I said this before. As long as Faust can get something out of it, she'll take it. So she'll get as much as she can from Titans, and then she'll just give the data to the AU and leave, and then everything will be okay.
I'm kind of
Titans-
curious.
Burn bridges with everyone.
Burn every single bridge.
Sun Tzu's Art of War. If you see a bridge, burn it.
Just don't let them get to you.
Big fan of the Malaprism. I'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Who knows? Maybe this will be the emotional. Maybe in season Zeta they'll have like a big intense fight in their mobile suits, and then they'll like, I don't know, have a big cry or some shit, and I don't know, hug, and decide to try and fix their mistake.
Yeah, reasonable.
reasonable, you say?
Listen, this just puts you down the route of doing bad people things. You can always have that good old redemption arc.
Yeah,
Follow up on
exactly.
it. You have left yourself open to different narrative possibilities.
Can't a girl have hobbies?
No. Doing
God.
things is hereby illegal.
Women are. You see, when courage smash when fuck, I need to think of something.
When Courage tomatoes some guy.
When courage tomatoes a guy, that's okay. But when I give research data to the Federation, it's no, Faust. You're creating Auschwitz 2.0. What are you doing? God.
In Courage, when she does self-defense, Faust self-defense against those defenseless kids.
Listen. If anything, Faust may be causing a bunch of suffering by giving this data, but it is going to
May?
lead to former
What the fuck you mean, May? You are.
Yeah.
You handed over Mankla's research notes to.
It's not science. It's the Richard sleep experiment. But yeah, no. If anything, it's gonna lead to a lot of suffering for those poor kids. But it's gonna lead to former Asame, which is gonna lead to Camille, which is gonna lead to Camille killing Paptimus, which is a net positive.
Yeah, but that also means Camille like suffers for the rest of his life.
He has a cute childhood friend wife. He'll be fine. He becomes a doctor later. He can get over it.
Yeah, but that could have happened without all of that.
Ignore his 3 dead girlfriends. Those don't.
Ignore his other dead girlfriends. That doesn't matter.
And his like surrogate older sister.
But I think this is gonna be great for Zeta. This is gonna be a very interesting plot development for Zeta.
This is fun.
You know, it'd be really funny.
What?
Tired? No, it's for Tired. This merges into the old guard. Boss suddenly shows up.
Old guard? Wait, what?
Yeah, so our season 1 for the original campaign then is called Rose Gallery, and season 2 is called The Old Guard. It goes from the first season is 1 Year War, second season is 0086, the start of the Civil War.
Okay.
So we can't do a Zeta season because Metro is in the old guard.
We could. It would just involve, like, again.
I feel like the easier solution on my schedule is just merge.
Yeah, merge our groups. Okay, yeah, let's do 0084, and when we get to 0086, we merge our groups. We can have fucking, I don't know, Cyber
shows up as a villain.
Yeah, Cyber New Type Faust, who fucking, like, her memories are all fucked.
No, you don't. Your memories aren't fucked. Now you have, like, you can't stop remembering things. You remember things at all times.
Ooh,
that's the problem.
Dude, do you know how much shipping material this will give the fucking real Tumblr fans we totally have?
Fuck.
If we post this, yes.
Follow
But this is currently unlisted.
Do you know how many Tumblr fans will get out of this?
I'm gonna go with at least
the
2.
AUs for our fanfiction will be incredible.
The AUs, fucking Faust, fucking like breaks Halava, and you know he's part of the evil Titan group or whatever the fuck.
Man, that would be a mind fuck for these characters to reemerge and Halava as a Titan, because I do not foresee that currently, and it would be an amazing turn of events.
This would be a fucking turn of events, dude. Wait, give me a second. I need to grab more fucking Limbusar. Give me a second. This is my idea now.
Yeah, also, like, what's the word? Courage definitely seems like someone would end up in the Titans inadvertently without realizing what they have actually gotten themselves involved with.
Yeah, this is the AU where fucking Faust like fucking breaks Halava into becoming like a full-fledged Titan.
I feel like Courage would be a Titan right up until like it hit the moral event horizon, and she would just tomato like Basque or whoever the fuck, like whoever told her to do the latest atrocities, like no, and also
I will kill you,
dude.
In situations such as these, we have to follow the Federation guidelines and uphold the honor of the Federation. Immediately takes a beam saber to their commander's cockpit.
Should I stop the recording? The session ended a while ago.
It did. Honestly,
just delightful spitballing at this point.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, this is a blast.
So for the session, so now that the recording is gone,